I'm Willie Montague.
And I'm Shakhea Hinton.
This is where serious issues meet serious conversation. No slogans, no sideshows, just substance. So buckle up, you guys, because this is the place you want to be, only here on Americana. All right, coming up on today's episode, why compassion politics keep failing the poor. Black women in position of power. This should be definitely interesting. Trump admin to cut off transgender care funding, cultural clash politics, and then good old Trump threatens NBC over Meet the Press interview. Let's dive into it. Welfare reform debates are back in the spotlight, from SNAP restrictions to housing shortages to rising dependency without upward mobility. Democrats continue expanding programs in the name of compassion, while us good old Republicans argue accountability produces better outcomes. For decades, Democrats have sold compassion politics as the answer to poverty. More programs, more spending, fewer rules, but today, the poor are still struggling, dependency is rising, and mobility is shrinking. The question isn't intentions anymore, y'all. It's results. Shakhea, why does compassion keep failing the people it claims to protect?
Because it's falling on deaf ears.
Look, she was waiting. I saw that she was
over here praying like, God, bridle my tongue. No, honestly, it's failing because it's falling on deaf ears.
But on whose deaf ears, though?
Those who have been in power.
Even Democrats?
No. You're saying that the Democrats are the ones that are failing, and I'm telling you, the policies that they are proposing, they are failing because who they are talking to have deaf ears.
So do you think this is widespread? Like this is more, you're like, goes beyond just red states, because this would go back to if the poor, and we're seeing more numbers in blue states and blue cities, then what's the excuse there?
Funding. Funding is always.
So the states are broke?
I wouldn't say broke, it's just allocated in different areas.
So that means that they're not responsible and they need to be doged?
No, I'm not saying Doge. Doge isn't bad. Let's just be completely honest and fair. Doge is not bad. What is bad about Doge is how they've come in and just completely wreaked havoc, right? They're shifting blame. Yes, balances should be checks and balances, but in this case, there are more checks than there are balances, which is why the poor is still struggling. Policies are not being passed. Resources are not being allocated to the right spots. It's going to like the same pots or even bigger pots. And so you still have the poor that's struggling. You still have people who are using government assistance to get by. And I know that you have an issue with people using government assistance. And so how do you feel about this, Willie?
No, I don't have problems with people utilizing it. I have a problem with people abusing it. It's two different things. What I've seen over the recent times, for example, we have places where we continue to talk about the poor, the homeless population. We talk about welfare, whether it's single parents that have it or single mothers that have to raise up their children. But it never gets down to it that Democrats continue to want to throw something at, is money really going to be the solution to this? Or do we need to sit down and have resources and start teaching about how to put your money in the right place for rainy days? Those are things that you should have learned as elementary, middle school. These are things you learn through school. Not the government should not be telling you how to balance your bank, your check.
I'm smiling and rubbing my hands together because I am having an inward conversation with the Lord.
Lord, speak.
And so, in all jokes aside, I'm smiling also because the way you frame this makes me feel like you are projecting the bootstrap mentality. You know what the bootstrap mentality is, right? So for those who may be at home and don't know what that is, bootstrap mentality is when you feel like somebody should be able to pull themselves up out of their situation. I am not saying the government should be the sole responsibility of a family pulling themselves up out of poverty. But what I am trying to emphasize is that there are barriers, there are systems in place that prevent people from pulling themselves up out of the bootstraps mentality. People who are redlined are not always able to purchase homes in better neighborhoods. Property taxes usually fund schools, so children, to your point, may not have those resources to learn about money, finances, saving, all those types of things while they're in school because of funding.
But I mentioned that concerning not this school, but those are things that even if you learn at school, but you should also learn at home.
You should, but you know this, Willis. Not Willis. That is not your name. What's your name? Willie.
I am so sorry. Black women in positions of power. This is Willis, y'all. Black women in position of power. It's no secret. President Trump despises anyone who goes against his direct orders and holds him accountable. Black women like Letitia. Why are you? Why?
Because I need you to understand. Go ahead.
And Fannie Willis, Auntie Fannie, have been standing 10 toes down while seeking justice in the court of law. So let's talk about these Black women in position of power.
Black with a capital B. Good job. So what do you know about these two Black women?
I know that definitely both of them are not the good examples for our young Black women.
Are you doing this to bait me today?
No, I'm serious.
They are not good examples of Black women?
Look at it. Wasn't one of them in there like sleeping her way to the top and the other one was lying? Like, I think that they showed hoish behavior.
Okay, so to clarify this so people aren't misunderstanding what you are saying, I won't even address what you're saying. What I will say
But is that not true? Wasn't one of them sleeping with the other prosecutor?
She was having a relationship with the prosecutor
that actually caused
hired.
A conflict.
No, and it did.
Yes.
However, we're not going to talk about Trump being married 3 times with 5 different children.
What does that have to do with
current? That has a lot to do. It does. And I'm just.
Is he not married to one woman now?
No. But what I'm saying is the hypocrisy that you're calling out, saying that she was wrong for having a relationship with one of you did.
I said that it was a conflict of interest.
So now I'm getting pulled into your shenanigans. Let me stick to the topic at hand. The 2 women that I wanted to talk about today were 2 powerful Black women who have held Trump accountable for his actions. And now, on the other side, his legal team they're seeking legal actions towards them now. And my conversation with you today is, do you see this as being retaliatory on Trump's end?
No. I think they came after President Trump, and do
you know why?
They came after him because they used their political powers to pursue false allegations against President Donald J. Trump.
Okay, so Letitia James, she's the Attorney General for New York. Her allegations were actually found liable for Trump. She cost him and 5 of his kids a huge lump sum of money, right? Later on, that was overturned because the judge said that was just too large of an amount. However,
was that not political power?
That is not, no, but the other part of her trial
at that time, this was during the time where President Biden was in office, and that was during that regime.
The timing doesn't matter. I'm talking to you about what charges she brought against him. Now with Fannie, Sister Fannie, she brought charges against him because of the election, the 2020 election, how Trump called folks in Georgia to ask for more votes. So you have someone who was targeting his finances. You have someone who's now targeting and has reason to target him for the election fraud. 2 things that are very important to Trump. And you are telling me that you don't see that as him now being retaliatory against them at all.
I'm going to say this and make it very clear. We are in a every man for themselves type of society in many ways. And President Trump understands what these people have put him through. And these 2 Black women here are those type of Black women that they are, a diary of a mad Black woman is their definition.
Really?
And so I believe, like I've always said, that there's someone that they're not accountable to at home.
So you often refer to someone's private life when it involves their actual
Because
work
your private
environment.
life runs over to your public
So
life.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So if that is the case, then why don't you have that same tone for President Trump? Truly, honestly,
About what?
bullshit aside, you know the history of President Trump, his marital situations, and how you all talk about how he's this upstanding, integral guy. But then when it's referring to women, and particularly women of color, your tone is very hard and staunch. And we can talk about this when we come
All
back
right.
from
Well,
commercial break.
I love women of color, but I have to always stand correct. All right, we have to take a quick commercial. We'll be right back. You are watching Americana. Whew. All right, we're back. Welcome back to Americana. All right, so let's continue what we were talking about.
Sure.
So back to President Trump's private life being used in the public. It was already, that was wrung out, dried out, and is old news. It's been used over and over in every type of debate, debacle, smear. It's old. He's almost 80 years old, been married. I don't know how many years he's been married to Melania, but it's like, what you want to do? I mean, long enough to have Barron, who's 18 now. So it's like.
So you're excusing it because of time, but yet when it comes to Fannie, it's an issue.
I'm not excusing it because of time, because everybody grows no matter how old they are. But I am saying that the whole Fannie Willis situation, and with anyone like that, that's within like the last, what, 15, 16 months. That's like, it's fresh.
No, and it shouldn't matter to an extent, right? She shouldn't have had a relationship with the man that she hired to help her prosecute him during this case. Did it taint it? Absolutely. Does it define her? Absolutely not. Because if that is the case, we wouldn't have Trump as our president, who has had a number of wives, who has had 5 different kids from 3 different women, who has filed bankrupt. The list can go on. So if you're saying that time and situations don't define a person, why not extend the same grace to Fannie?
Okay. I mean, she can have the grace. That doesn't mean that she is capable of being in the position she is to go after President Trump the way that she did. It was all a political stunt.
She was elected by the Fulton County
for the people
to be the district attorney.
And that's all fine and well. But what it is that she did was all a political. At that particular time during the 2024 presidential campaign, it was multiple people popping up all over the place with charges because they just knew that President Trump was not going to win, and they thought that he was going to be arrested and thrown into prison.
There's records and actual documentation of President Trump calling and soliciting for votes.
Okay, so did you have the same energy, since we're talking about time is no factor? You had that same thing with all the emails with Benghazi when it came to Hillary Clinton?
No, actually I didn't. If she was found guilty, then Hillary would be behind bars. Hillary would be held to the same standards. Honestly, for real. No. I'm being so serious.
She wouldn't.
My stance wouldn't be different.
She would not. She is guilty, and she is not behind bars. She is a free Hillary that's walking around slicing people up that she doesn't like out there. She's just as dangerous as
So
anybody
you
else.
are saying that she is is doing what? I just want to make sure that we have
She's
this.
the one that had Jeffrey Epstein killed. Anyway, we're going to go here real fast.
We can talk about him tomorrow.
Okay. We're going to start talking about Trump has repeatedly threatened media outlets of their licensings who he finds unfavorable. The host, Kristen Welker, that's different, all right, interviewed Senator Raphael Warnock, oh, Jesus, where he spoke about his faith in political matters. I didn't know that Senator Warnock still had faith.
He's a preacher of the Ebenezer Church, the one that Martin Luther King formerly...
I'm aware of him. I'm just saying, I didn't know he was still with God after all of his foolishness.
What foolishness are you referring to?
His time as a senator has shown that him walking or him exemplifying the things that matter on a biblical basis was absent.
And so do you hold Trump to that same standard?
Trump does not claim to be a reverend.
No, he doesn't, but he uses... a Christian. However, Senator Warnock is a pastor of a current church. Then, to add on to this, President Trump said that he doesn't know if a pastor should be able to hold office. Like, when it doesn't benefit Trump and if it doesn't glorify this message that he wants, he deems it as an attack. It is not an attack. It is actually accountability that he avoids. And also, as a senator of Georgia, why else would Trump be threatened by this man?
I get it, but if President Trump said that that a person that is a pastor shouldn't hold office, that's how the founding fathers, most of them was Baptist ministers. But I would say this in light of that. Remember, these are words. What can President Trump actually do that is going to stop a person who's a pastor from running? Everyone has words. Just like Senator Warnock got up and said what he said, that was his opinion. President Trump's response was an opinion. Are we that sensitive in the United States that when people get, whether it's the president, a senator, or whether it's the butcher or the baker, are we that sensitive?
It's not that folks are that sensitive. people are expecting Trump to be something that he never actually was.
So stop expecting.
We shouldn't. But I think people are trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. If he's going to be the president over the next 3.5 years, we would love to see some type of decorum, which we probably won't. And I think the level of expectancy of this man assuming the role of president is far gone and far removed. However, you have someone like a Senator Warnock who is saying, instead of being divisive, why not lean onto the faith that you actually have, be it Buddhism, Hinduism, being an atheist, whatever spiritual thing that you have, why not lean into that during a time of despair? That was the basis of the interview. But yet Trump is threatening NBC for their licensing. Do you think that infringes upon First Amendment?
Yes. I am 100% for the First Amendment, and I say that anything that infringes upon it, even that, I've said that when Trump said that about, what's his name, the Rainers, who were murdered by, allegedly by their son. And so, you know, I would say that too. I did not like the response that he gave. And I want this to be clear. I voted for President Trump. However, that does not mean that everything that Trump says I go for. But when it makes sense and I understand where people can twist what is being said and done, that's different. But for this, I definitely 100% said that Trump does not always say everything correct, just like
I don't recall you saying that. I don't recall.
Well, you can, but I'm glad. Now.
Yes, we're going to get a timestamp on that. December 18th,
6:51.
All right.
So I would say that with anything, I've never. Everybody who is Republican or MAGA or that are, you know, whatever direction you are in the Republican Party. Even those who are MAGA don't 100% agree with everything that President Trump says. He is a man. I say that all the time under a lot of people's posts. He is a man. However, he is the president of the United States. He is moving the country, I believe, in a great trajectory. People do not agree with that because they don't see it the way they want to see it. He is a businessman. He is not the Pope. He is here to bring change. And we will see that change by the end of his term.
How do you think pastors, what does a pastor look like in today's term?
A pastor in today's term looks like someone who gets up, has the testicular fortitude to get behind the pulpit and to speak truth to power to the people, because the church is the greatest influence when it comes to voting.
I wish we had more time, but we can probably continue this tomorrow.
And it shall continue. That concludes tonight's episode of Americana. I'm Willie, Montague.
And I'm Shakhea Hinton.
Thank you for engaging with thoughtful, honest conversation. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on AFRO TV. Until then, stay informed and seek truth always.
Good night.